I'm Brittany Lewis with Forbes Breaking News. Senator Mazie Hirono spoke on the Senate floor Thursday about the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act. The Hawaii Democrat voiced her support of the bill, which would provide extra funding to family planning services, including providing birth control. This bill is different from the Right to Contraceptives Act, which passed the House on Thursday and would enshrine Americans' right to access birth control. Democrats are working on a variety of bills to make certain rights that are only protected by a Supreme Court decision part of federal law. This comes after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last month. Take a listen to her remarks.
Mr. President, I rise today in support of the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act, which will help ensure millions of Americans can continue receiving family planning services through the Title X program. For more than 40 years, Title X has helped ensure hundreds of thousands of women, regardless of income, background, insurance status, or hometown, have access to basic reproductive health care, including wellness exams, cancer screenings, birth control, and testing and treatment for sexually transmitted diseases. While this program, which was created with bipartisan support, has been around for decades, we've seen what happens when MAGA Republicans are in control. President Trump slashed funding for Title X and imposed a dangerous domestic gag rule that banned doctors from telling people how they could access abortion services. The gag rule wreaked havoc across the country. It forced providers to decide whether they wanted to receive Title X funding, knowing that healthcare providers wouldn't be able to provide women with accurate and comprehensive information, or say no to this critical family planning funding that supports women across the country through clinics like Planned Parenthood and other nonprofits. In my home state of Hawaii, the entire network of Title X clinics said no to this dangerous rule and rejected the funding, forcing our state to foot the bill. On the other hand, the state of Hawaii, the clinics in Hawaii, because they rejected this funding, could provide the full range of care for their clients. But ultimately, the gag rule resulted in a loss of services to thousands of women. Across the country, Trump's rule slashed Title X's patient capacity in half, jeopardizing family planning and contraceptive care for 1.6 million patients nationwide. While President Biden reversed this rule, we can't take anything for granted. As the right-wing Supreme Court and MAGA Republicans work to eliminate reproductive freedom, it's critical we protect and strengthen Title X. That's exactly what the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act will do. This bill will nearly double funding for Title X family planning services by providing $500 million in mandatory funding for Title X for each of the next 10 years. It will also ban Title X providers from discriminating against patients and require pregnancy counseling service receiving Title X funds to provide patients with all of the information about all their reproductive care options, including abortion. Republicans have made clear they will do anything to get rid of our reproductive freedoms. So we must pass this bill to make sure this program isn't at the whim of those trying to strip us of our health care. While Republicans continue to attack our fundamental rights, Democrats are doing everything we can to protect them. That's why, in addition to this important bill, earlier this week I introduced legislation to codify the right to contraception. All of this is about who gets to make decisions about our bodies, women, or a bunch of right-wing politicians. I believe, and the American people overwhelmingly agree, individuals, not politicians, should be making these deeply personal decisions. Our Right to Contraception Act and the Expanding Access to Family Planning Act will help ensure they can. Mr. President, I yield back.